All right, welcome back to the Beast Game Podcast. This is a review for the movie Upgrade. It's written and directed by Lee Wanell, one of James's favorite writers and directors. It stars Logan Marshall Green and Betty Gabriel. And the synopsis is, set in the near future, technology controls nearly all aspects of life, but when Gray, a self-identified technophobe, has this world turned upside down, his only hope for revenge is an experimental computer chip implant called STEM. It's a cyberpunk-style world set in the near future. There's drones that capture every aspect of public life that they try to prevent crimes from happening, but crimes still happen. Logan Marshall Green's character, Gray Trace, and his wife believe that she works for a technology firm. He's adverse to technology, but he drives a classic car, things like that. They go to a meeting, and after they leave the meeting, they both get into an accident, and after the accident, there's an attempted robbery. So they kill his wife, they shoot him, paralyze him, and he wakes up in the hospital, unable to move. He's a quadriplegic. Pretty much the first part of the movie, having him deal with his disability. He meets a figure in the hospital that tells him that they have experimental technology that will give him the ability to live a normal life again, to walk. He's very reluctant to do it. He agrees. He goes along with the procedure. And after the procedure is done, they insert the stem into his spine. He gets the ability to walk. The stem handles the signals that his brain would say to his limbs. The stem also turns into an AI and begins talking to him to a point where only he can hear that. Then you still have this overarching mystery about why his wife was killed, who killed his wife. So he wants to start looking for the people that have killed his wife. And that's what will stop. This is a cyberpunk action movie. It's a very low budget movie. There's only a handful of action scenes in it, but it does look nice. To really sum up this movie, it's Knight Rider, RoboCop, Her, and Terminator, Skynet. So eventually the AI in his body starts to become self-aware. So that's where you get the Skynet Terminator reference. It's similar to Her because everyone's living with the technology to talk to AI. When he initially has his disability, there's AI that can control different aspects of his house. It's RoboCop where you have someone that has a particular injury, then has a procedure done to give them somewhat the use of their body again. And then Knight Rider where, just like you would have Kit would speak to Michael and do certain things. So that's what's happening. So the stem in Gray's body can help him fight better. So again, this is an action movie. So, but the thing is that what happened if all that turned into, in reference to Knight Rider, this Kit, and that's kind of what starts happening. You have this AI inside of his body. It seems helpful. So what I thought about this movie, it is okay. It starts to fall apart in the last act. There's some non-logical story progressions that occur, and I understand there's the overarching mystery about how his wife was killed. So that's where a lot of my displeasure with this movie comes from. I will say that the police, Betty Gabriel, she was in Get Out. She's the police officer assigned to Gray's case. She's trying to figure out why his wife was killed. Because Gray is sitting there trying to hunt down the people that killed his wife, she shows up and finds clues that might lead to Gray's involvement in those cases, that he's hunting down the people that killed his wife. But since he's shown that he is still quadriplegic, she's confused by it. So some of that mystery is also trying to figure out why that happens. But again, the last third of the movie is where the movie starts falling apart. And I liked it from up until that point. And then a lot of what my score will be is just knocking down off of that. I just didn't like the way that it ended. I didn't like the reasoning why his wife and certain things were happening. I do like the visual style of it. I do like the world. I do like the fight scenes, but the fight scenes are very hyper stylized, and I think it could have been better. Take a look at something like John Wick. The core of this movie is Gray trying to find out who killed his wife, but also dealing with this voice in his head that is telling him to do things counter to what his moral judgment would be. He doesn't want to kill people, but the AI is saying, well, hey, justification wise, this person had a gun at you, so why don't you just go ahead and kill them? And when he does try to figure out what's going on with his wife and hurting these people, it does make him feel better that he's actually trying to accomplish things. But again, morally, he doesn't feel good about it. For a score, I'm going to give this a 5.5. It's a watchable movie. The story is what lets us down. And I know James loves Lee Wanell, and maybe this story just wasn't as great. I mean, again, it's a low budget movie. Not sure what the budget is, but a lot of the science fiction behind it is just still modern day, just with, hey, well, you have an AI talking to you, or you have a car that looks slightly different, or you have a table or TV that has a UI in it that's a hologram or projection. I like the way it looks, but the story is what lets us down, and that's the Beast Game Podcast.